Welcome back to the channel World Coins Master Coin enthusiasts, collectors, and curious minds from all around the world. Today's video is going to be an exciting journey into the mysterious and fascinating world of United States coins, where we uncover the hidden stories behind small pieces of metal that could be worth a life-changing fortune. Imagine holding a coin that you thought was only worth 10 cents, only to discover it could be valued at a staggering $6 million. That's right. In today's episode, we will explore the unbelievable case of the 1993 P1 dime, a United States coin that looks ordinary at first glance but may hide a world of extraordinary secrets beneath its tiny frame. What makes a coin like the 1993 P dime so special? How could a coin with a face value of just 10 cents fetch a multi-million-dollar price tag? The answer lies in a combination of history, human error, minting mistakes, and extreme rarity. In this video, we will take a deep dive into all the factors that could make such a coin so valuable. We will explore its history, how the United States Mint operated in 1993, what possible errors might have occurred during the production of this coin, the varieties and anomalies that could exist, and why collectors go crazy over such rare finds. So sit back, relax, and get ready to embark on a journey through time and treasure as we unfold the mystery of the 1993 P1 dime, and how it possibly became one of the most valuable coins ever to surface in the numismatic world. To understand the value of the 1993 P dime, we need to go back to the early 1990s. It was a time of transition and change in the United States Mint. The Philadelphia Mint, identified by the P mint mark on coins, was producing billions of coins each year. In 1993 alone, the Mint struck hundreds of millions of dimes intended for circulation. Most of them were ordinary Roosevelt dimes, named after President Franklin D. Roosevelt, whose profile appears on the obverse of the coin. These coins were made primarily from a copper-nickel clad composition, a copper core bonded between layers of nickel, the standard material used since the U.S. discontinued using silver in most of its coinage in the mid-1960s. The Roosevelt dime itself has a long history, first issued in 1946 to honor the legacy of President Roosevelt after his death in 1945. The design remained largely unchanged through the decades, with only minor adjustments in font size, relief, and spacing. By 1993, the design was familiar, widely accepted, and rarely scrutinized, which made it all the easier for certain minting mistakes to slip by unnoticed. And that's where the story of the 1993 P dime becomes fascinating. Among the millions of dimes produced that year, a handful, or maybe even just one, is believed to have left the mint with critical errors that drastically increase its value. While most dimes are worth exactly 10 cents, certain coins become incredibly valuable because they have something unique, something so rare that it captures the attention of numismatists, investors, and collectors worldwide. So, what kind of minting errors could have occurred on the 1993 P dime that would make it worth up to $6 million? First, let's consider one of the most well-known types of minting errors: the double die. A double die error happens during the process of hubbing a coin die, essentially the creation of the die that strikes the blank coin. If a coin die receives multiple impressions from the hub that are not perfectly aligned, it can result in a doubled image on the coin. This doubling can appear on letters, numbers, or even the image of Roosevelt himself. If such an error occurred on a 1993 P dime and only a few, or just one, were released into circulation, its rarity would skyrocket. Second, there is the possibility of a missing mint mark or a misplaced mint mark. The mint mark, P, indicates the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. However, due to a misalignment in the die or a failure to properly apply the mint mark, a coin might be released without this identifier. Missing mint mark errors are not only rare but also sought after by collectors, especially when they occur in more recent years where quality control is considered to be more stringent. Another possibility lies in the composition of the coin itself. Although the standard composition for dimes in 1993 was copper-nickel clad, it's not impossible for a coin to be mistakenly struck on a different planchet, for example, a silver planchet left over from earlier years, or even a planchet intended for a foreign coin. If the 1993 P dime was mistakenly struck on a silver planchet or another wrong metal base, this alone could contribute significantly to its value. In fact, off-metal errors are among the most exciting and valuable minting mistakes in numismatics. Yet another avenue for error is in the strike quality. A coin might be struck through grease, leading to missing details on the design, or it may have been double struck, rotated during striking, or even struck off center. While some of these errors can reduce the aesthetic appeal of a coin, when the errors are dramatic and unique enough, especially when found on modern coins where such mistakes are rare, they can increase the coin's value exponentially. Now let's talk about provenance and discovery. It's not just the error itself that determines value, it's also the story behind the coin. Where was it found? Was it discovered by a seasoned collector or an unsuspecting individual who received it in change at a convenience store? Stories like these can make a coin even more desirable. Imagine someone finding a 1993 p dime with a mint error in an old jar of coins, or tucked away in a relative's coin collection. The allure of a hidden treasure is incredibly powerful and draws immense public and collector interest. Authentication is another key component. For a coin to reach the heights of a $6 million valuation, it must be authenticated and graded by a reputable third-party grading service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. These organizations not only verify the authenticity of the coin but also assign it a grade based on its condition, from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70. A high-grade 1993 p dime with a rare error could be the holy grail for collectors. Let's consider a hypothetical but plausible scenario. Suppose only one known 1993 p dime was struck with a double die obverse, missing mint mark, and on a silver planchet, a triple rarity. Suppose it was discovered in near-perfect, uncirculated condition and graded as MS68 by PCGS. Such a coin would immediately attract attention from elite collectors and institutions around the world. It would likely be featured in major auction houses, covered by numismatic media, and become the subject of debates and discussions. Its uniqueness would make it a once-in-a-lifetime acquisition, driving the bidding into the millions. The coin's valuation might also be boosted by media coverage, interest from private collectors, and even institutional buyers. When collectors perceive a coin to be one of a kind, with no known equivalents, its price becomes less about tangible value and more about prestige, desire, and rarity. It becomes a trophy coin, the kind of piece that headlines auction catalogs and makes numismatic history. Now, why $6 million? Is that number realistic, or is it exaggerated? In truth, when it comes to extremely rare coins, prices can defy logic. The 1933 Double Eagle, a $20 gold coin, sold for over $18 million at auction. The 1794 Flowing Hair silver dollar has fetched over $10 million. These coins are not just currency, they are relics, art, and history all in one. If a 1993 p dime is discovered to have a combination of ultra-rare errors and an immaculate condition, $6 million is not impossible, especially if the coin is one of a kind and has captured the public's imagination. In the numismatic world, the law of supply and demand is powerful. The fewer the coins, the greater the demand. If there is only one 1993 p dime with a specific combination of rare traits, collectors will compete fiercely for the chance to own it. Let's also consider the role of technology. With modern tools like microscopes, high-resolution cameras, and database-driven authentication, it's easier than ever to analyze coins for minor anomalies that may have gone unnoticed in the past. These tools have opened up new possibilities in discovering rare varieties and errors, especially in common-looking coins like the dime. Another interesting possibility is the existence of transitional errors. These occur when a coin is struck with a design or planchet from a previous or future year. Transitional errors are highly prized because they reflect a lapse in the mint's usual process, and because they capture a moment of unintended history. If a 1993 p dime was struck on a leftover 1992 or 1994 silver or foreign planchet, it would immediately qualify as a major discovery. And don't forget the power of speculation. In today's world, collectible markets are often driven by hype, trends, and investor interest. Just as cryptocurrencies or NFTs can explode in value overnight, so too can rare coins, especially if a major sale or media story sparks attention. A YouTube video, a Reddit post, or a TikTok about a $6 million dime could go viral, creating a rush of interest in searching for these coins and further pushing up their value. Collectors are also drawn to mystery and the hunt. Knowing that a rare and valuable coin might be hiding in your loose change or buried in an old coin collection adds an element of excitement and hope that keeps the hobby alive. The 1993 p dime could be one such mystery. Whether the stories are based on actual sales, verified examples, or just compelling rumors, they serve to ignite curiosity and passion. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors and sparked rumors across the numismatic community. We're talking about the 2003 D1 dime coin from the United States of America, a small 10-cent piece that some believe could be worth up to $5 million due to incredibly rare and unusual minting errors, striking anomalies, and peculiar mint mark oddities. Yes, you heard that right. A single dime, potentially worth $5 million. So, how does a coin that is supposed to be worth just 10 cents end up being valued at millions of dollars? What makes it so special, and what are the details that elevate it from everyday change to numismatic treasure? To understand that, we first need to explore everything about the 2003 D dime, its origin, minting process, and the mistakes that turned an ordinary coin into an extraordinary find. The 2003 D dime was minted at the Denver Mint, indicated by the D mint mark. Denver is one of the most prominent U.S. mints, known for producing coins in large quantities for general circulation. In 2003, the U.S. Mint released millions of dimes, most of which looked and functioned exactly as expected. They were made from the standard copper-nickel clad composition, weighed approximately 2.27 grams, and measured 17.91 millimeters in diameter. The obverse side featured the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, a design that has been consistent on the dime since 1946. The reverse featured a torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. But not all 2003 D dimes were created equally. Somewhere in the process, something unusual happened. Coins began to appear with anomalies so rare that they defied ordinary explanation. Some collectors and graders reported finding coins with doubling in specific areas of the coin. Others spotted off-center strikes, rotated dies, missing mint marks, repunched mint marks, and even partial planchet clips. While these might sound like minor errors, in the world of coin collecting, such errors, especially when combined on a single coin, can multiply a coin's value exponentially. Let's begin with the doubling, commonly referred to as a doubled die. This occurs during the hubbing process, where the design is transferred onto the die that strikes the coins. If the die receives more than one impression and the alignment is slightly off, it can result in a coin where some letters, numbers, or features appear doubled. This is not a post-mint damage or a trick of the eye. It's a legitimate mint error that significantly increases a coin's rarity. For the 2003 D dime, some of the most sought-after doubled die examples show doubling in the inscriptions. Liberty, in God we trust, or even in Roosevelt's eye and facial features. Finding one of these errors on a coin in excellent condition can easily turn that dime into a five-figure collectible. Now, let's talk about repunched mint marks. Prior to 1990, mint marks were punched into dies by hand. After that, the process became automated, but errors still occasionally occur. A repunched mint mark, or RPM, happens when the mint mark is punched more than once in slightly different positions. On a 2003 D dime, a repunched D can appear as a shadow beneath the main mint mark or as a strange doubling effect. These errors are extremely rare for this year and mint, making them valuable to collectors who specialize in modern coin errors. Off-center strikes are another type of error that can dramatically increase a coin's value. An off-center strike happens when the planchet, the blank coin, is not properly aligned with the dies. This results in a coin that's partially struck, with part of the design missing or displaced. Depending on the severity of the misalignment, these errors can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In some extremely rare cases, 2003 D dimes have been found with off-center strikes so pronounced that more than 50% of the design is missing, but with the date and mint mark still fully visible, a critical factor in determining value. One of the most mysterious and potentially valuable errors found in some 2003 D dimes is the so-called missing clad layer error. The standard 2003 D dime is a copper core sandwiched between two layers of nickel. If the outer clad layer is missing on one side, the coin appears a golden brown or reddish color instead of its typical silver hue. This kind of error not only makes the coin visually striking, but it's also extremely rare. Coins with missing clad layers often attract bids from collectors willing to pay thousands of dollars, especially if the coin is in uncirculated or near mint condition. Another incredibly rare error involves the planchet itself, the blank metal disc from which the coin is made. Sometimes, a dime planchet may accidentally get struck with the dies intended for a different denomination or be made of an incorrect metal. There are unconfirmed reports in the coin community of 2003 D dimes being struck on foreign planchets, including those intended for other countries or for outdated US denominations. These wrong planchet errors are exceedingly rare and can fetch astronomical prices at auction. Rotated die errors, although more subtle, also add to the value. A rotated die error occurs when one die, usually the reverse, is misaligned with the obverse die. When you flip a normal US coin vertically, the reverse should be perfectly aligned. On a rotated die error, the reverse is twisted at an angle. While mild rotations are common, anything over 30 degrees becomes collectible, and extreme rotations, like 90 degrees or even 180 degrees, are extremely rare and desirable. Some 2003 D dimes have been found with rotated die errors close to 90 degrees, a nearly unheard of condition that dramatically boosts their desirability. Now consider the rarity of finding not just one of these errors, but multiple errors on the same coin. A 2003 D dime with a double die, repunched mint mark, missing clad layer, and an off-center strike could easily be considered a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. It's the numismatic equivalent of hitting the jackpot. Even one of these features alone could propel the coin's value into the thousands or tens of thousands, but together, they create a perfect storm of rarity and collector appeal. The condition of the coin also plays a critical role. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a flawless, mint-condition coin. A rare error coin in poor condition might still be valuable, but a similar coin in uncirculated condition or graded MS65 or higher by a professional grading service can easily reach 5 or 6 figures. In the case of the 2003 D dime, examples with mint state grades combined with rare errors are the ones that have been rumored to fetch prices nearing or even exceeding $5 million in private sales and speculative auctions. Adding to the coin's mystique is the fact that so few of these high-value error dimes have been found, leading some collectors to believe there may still be undiscovered examples hiding in drawers, jars, and coin rolls. Every time someone finds an unusual 2003 D dime, it reignites interest in the hunt for more. Social media posts, YouTube videos, and coin collecting forums frequently buzz with stories of collectors discovering strange anomalies in their spare change, and the 2003 D dime is often at the center of those discussions. The story becomes even more intriguing when you look into the rumors and myths that swirl around these coins. Some say a handful of test strikes escaped the mint during a period of machine calibration, while others believe the coins were part of a covert experimental batch using alternative metal compositions. There's even speculation that a rogue mint employee may have intentionally introduced errors, making the coins ultra-rare and leaving collectors to piece together the mystery. While these stories may never be fully verified, they add to the lore and help explain why some collectors are willing to pay millions for a single error dime from 2003. Let's not forget the influence of online marketplaces, where rare coins often change hands for staggering amounts. Sites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Stax Bowers regularly feature listings for error coins with eye-popping price tags. A 2003 D dime with one or more major errors, a high grade, and strong provenance could easily spark a bidding war among elite collectors. As demand continues to rise and fewer examples surface, the value of such coins only increases. It's the perfect example of how supply and demand operate in the world of numismatics. If you're wondering whether you might have one of these rare dimes, there are a few simple steps to take. First, examine the date and mint mark. Make sure it says 2003 and has the D for Denver. Then, look closely under magnification for signs of doubling in the letters or numbers. Inspect the mint mark for repunching or abnormalities. Check the coin's edges and surfaces for unusual coloring or missing clad layers. Flip the coin and observe the alignment between the obverse and reverse to detect a rotated die. And finally, compare the weight with an accurate scale. A significant deviation from the standard 2.27 grams could indicate a planchet error. Even if your coin doesn't exhibit all these features, a single error could make it worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And if you believe you've found a coin with multiple errors, it's crucial to have it authenticated and graded by a reputable third-party grading service such as PCGS or NGC. These services provide a professional evaluation and encapsulate the coin in a tamper-proof holder, which can greatly enhance its market value. So, the next time you come across a dime from 2003 with a D mint mark, take a closer look. It might be just Anno.